Welcome to the Black Source. Welcome all my peoples. As you know, I like to open the show with Mr. Vegas. And so for all my dance hall heads out there, enjoy Back Up, Mr. Vegas. We'll be back.
Feeling you, baby. I'm feeling you, baby. You make me go in the. Back it up again, me girl, and take all of me money. Got me love you, a wine for nothing. Got me love the way you a tick and a tuck and a wine and a juke and a stuff. All sexy body, girl, bubble up, bubble up, bubble, 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 double up the bubble up, girl. Back up, back up. Back it up. You will place you at it up. Boy, place you lock it up. Skin tight in a sock up. Boy, from your inner the party you want tease me. Hey baby, come please me, girl. You make me fall in love. Me completely. Back up, back up. Oh my, balance it up. Oh my, my, my. Back up, back up. Oh my, my, my. Balance it up. Oh my, my, my. Oh, oh my, my, my. Oh, oh my, my, my. It's all about the money, but I can't stop thinking
I wasn't ready. Little jokey poo. Little jokey poo. Welcome to the Black Source. This is your girl, Black Body Logic, or Monique Black, or Big Mama. However you want to relate to me. Whatever you want. Mama got. Okay, so bust this. We got a full panel. It's going to be mad people on the panel tonight. So I'm going to like kind of step back. Thank you so much, Slims. I'm going to step back from the panel a little bit. Before I do that, I want to phrase the conversation so to make sure that my viewpoint is getting across. So there's two topics that that's going to be on the table tonight, and then, as you know, the comments and everything dictate the way that the conversation goes. We'll know what we need to talk about based on what people are talking about, and so that'll come into play. But the two topics that I had pre-selected was we wanted to talk about Dr. Sebi, and we wanted to talk about this biracial thing. I'm fascinated with. Maybe it's just me, but I'm fascinated with it. So we're gonna start with that before everybody gets here. John Allen is already in the building, but he hasn't sat down and put his little spongy on yet. I'm gonna take like 5 minutes before we open up the panel. So this is the thing about the biracial thing. I'm old school. I was well, my birthday is this month. I'll be 45. Some bullshit, by the way. That's some bullshit, man. I'm not ready. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. About my midlife crisis. But when I was young, you know, I had like uncles and shit, and they had like white wives and shit like that, and we had like mixed cousins, and these mixed cousins to me were black. Their whole shit was black. Like they was the black cousins with the wavy hair. Basically, back then, people were still calling it good hair, and back then, I was still really believing that shit. So that was the reality that I was living in at the time. What's up? Do what? Oh, I gotta share my post. Yeah, I gotta share it to my other page. So, you guys, you already know that if you can share, if you can do things like that, some people can. What we talking about, you don't want it on your page, but if you can, do that shit, and let's try to get this conversation popping, pop-a-lopping everywhere if we can. But I'm about to share to my own page while you bullshitting. So yeah, so we had the mixed kids, right, in my family, and in my family, that was considered black. Everything, they just absorbed black culture. Like they were just black like us. They did everything we did. They went where we went. They went to our schools, our churches. They married black people. They just was black. And the most hell we used to give them was like, you know, they might get into a little bit of dispute about looking mixed or having mixed hair or some shit. But that was it. So now what I'm noticing lately, I'm just noticing, this is brand new to me. So I snoozed on this for I don't know how long. But I'm noticing now, I'm hearing people say, and not just people, but people whose, you know, opinion I respect, and people who mad, educated, smart people are saying like, yo, biracials ain't black. The fuck? I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Because that means I'm going to have to, I don't know, I'm going to have to rework my worldview like in a major way. In a major way. So let's examine this shit. Before I open up the panel to discuss it, I'm going to tell you why I have an issue with this thing. A lot of people are saying, okay, well, one drop rule, right? I hope everybody's with me. I hope you got your drinks out. You sipping on a little something. Open up. Loosen up so you can call in, share it, and get into this conversation because it's about to get deep. So people say the one drop rule. They be like, okay, that's a racist rule, so why y'all even dealing with that? Here's the problem, or you know, the white man created whatever the fuck, right? So here's my problem with that. Blackness in and of itself, just calling ourselves black is a reaction to whiteness. That's what that is. As the original people on the planet Earth out of Africa, we didn't have to call ourselves black. We was just us. It wasn't no mental like, oh, we gotta identify as. No, the whole point of identifying as black was a reaction to not wanting to be that. We didn't want to be white for sure. The enemy set up whiteness as a vessel for their elite bullshit. We definitely had a reaction to that, and they had a reaction to us. In other words, they needed us to not be white, and we needed not to be white. Do you understand what I'm saying? Blackness was a reaction to that. If you doubt that, just try to think about that. Think it through for a moment. If before we ever met a white person, why would we identify as black? Why would we? We was humans. Just like we're going to be humans when it ain't no more white people. We still going to be here, and we're still going to be humans. So they were just a blip in the whole thing, really, if you think about it. They can't. What they just find as whiteness cannot sustain. It cannot. So that's not going to work. So let's set that aside for a moment. If I accept blackness, and I do, then I accept all of these things that we united together under blackness. Because these laws and stuff, this one drop rule shit wasn't just like their fields. That was laws that they were doing to fuck us up. And we united under those laws. So like these mixed kids and shit, they was in the fucking fields or in the house or whatever, you know, slaving and shit. And we were still embracing them and they were embracing us. So if that's gonna change, like, I can understand that. I just want someone to explain it to me. Number one, why it should change and how it should be different. And I wanted to explain it like in a way, like, you know, let's not act like it's not a different thing. Like it's always been this way. It has not always been this way. Like there's just no fucking way we wasn't looking at people like Frederick Douglass and calling them black. Like that's just not a thing. We definitely were calling them black. So we have to establish why we should change that. And I literally, my ears are open. My mind is open to hear why we should change that. So that's one thing that we're going to talk about today. And then I won't be having a lot of feedback into it because we have such a full panel, but I'll write about it later like I normally do. You know, whatever I learn, I'll flesh out what in my posts. And if you're interested, you just click it. Now, so there's that. And then the other thing we're going to be discussing today is the Dr. Sebi situation, because I'm starting to see a lot of people who are anti-Sebi kind of like bashing all black Hotepi kind of shit, which I wouldn't jump that fast. Everybody just slow your roll. Every Afrocentric thought, a school of thought, is not garbage. So if you feel that way, then you might have some anti-black sentiments that you need to examine. So we're going to get into that. But I do think with the Dr. Sebi thing, I do think that maybe it's religion that's causing some people not to see his obvious scamming. Because I think maybe like that religion, I'm not sure exactly, but I'm hoping that somebody who is not completely anti-Sebi will call in and give me their viewpoint on it. Because I want to know like why. Because to me, he seems obvious. It seems obvious to me. If you're saying that you cured cancer and AIDS, then it seems to me obvious that you're a liar. So I don't know how. I can't figure out how that's working. So I'm interested in hearing those viewpoints today. Chenoa will be here. Johnathon will be here. Hiba will be here. John Allen is here. And I'm here. Is that it? Oh, that is everybody. Wait, do we got enough mics? Did I miscount? Is that everybody? Everybody? Let me look. Let me see who on the poster. Who did I put on the poster? Yeah, I don't know. I think that we good, though. I think that we got enough. I think we might have enough mics. But welcome, John. And I want you to please give me some background. Just tell me a little bit about, you know, I think that you are a therapist, if I'm right. I might be wrong. Social worker. Tell me a little bit about yourself so I can know where your perspective is coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, and talk right into the mic for me.
Right into the mic. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah, so.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a MSW, Master Social Work, USC, University of Southern California.
You got in there fair and square?
Yeah,
can I see some receipts?
Yeah, in fair and square. I don't have any receipts.
I want to make sure ain't nobody did no slick shit to get you in.
All
right.
I did some slick shit. Nobody helped me. So, we got the background noise. So,
oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I'm a New York City native. I've been living in Texas for about 15 years.
Okay.
West Virginia.
That's a miracle to me to come out of New York and be in Texas for mad years.
I don't know
that
why.
Was fine. Because I just can't do it, son.
Listen, this is what. Have you been to Texas?
No, but I don't like fucking around on the other side of the Mason-Dixon at all.
Okay, well, don't know why, because it's not like it's any less racist here. This is one of the most racist places I ever lived in my life.
Yeah, it's not about that. It's about how I have to deal with. It's one thing for me to know that you're racist. It's another thing for me to have to deal with your blatant disrespect in my face. Like, I'm not with people telling me you can't drive through this place and you can't eat here. Like, I'm not with that in 2000. We had people admit that happens down south. We've had it admitted that that is still happening.
You know what they do here? They make it too expensive. They don't want you here.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care if they want me here.
They put a toll. But you're
that's fine with me.
I know, but they don't want you down there either. That's the point that you're trying to make, right?
So no, I'm trying to make is that I don't like somebody blatantly disrespecting me in my face.
That's not how it is.
I'm not with that whole.
That's not how it is.
Listen here, nigger. You're gonna have to walk over there because we're walking through here.
I've been watching too many movies.
and
slave movies at that. Like y'all don't even. Like,
I didn't like it. But I
there's racism. But I mean, like
but there's racism everywhere. That's agreed.
For example, what just happened in Dallas, right?
Right.
That happens here all the time. NYPD does the same shit. Is one of the most corrupt and the worst police forces in the United States and in the world. So, and they target black folks, right?
Absolutely. All yeah, right, so we racist wherever we go.
We're not gonna act like Houston, Texas is worse than New York City. We're not gonna do that.
No,
not me.
I don't know what you're talking about words. I don't know what's hard to understand. I'm not with all that, you motherfuckers, you good. I'm not with that hillbilly shit in my face type deal. That's it. Well, it's the same thing with Trump and Obama. They both run a fucked up system, but I'd rather deal with Obama than Trump sitting up there talking about, yeah, you like, nah, son, I'm not with him talking to me like that. I don't have no choice, but I'm not with it.
I'm not with it. Policy doesn't matter. Their demeanor does.
No, the policy is always racist. I don't know how to get that through to you. It's not difficult. It's easy. It's always racist. But if it's always racist, I would rather you talk to me with some respect than be like, this Trump shit I'm not feeling.
My parents are military. You asked me background, right?
Trump out of here.
My mother retired
making me mad.
Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force, right? I spent my sophomore and junior year of high school in Okinawa, Japan, on Kadena Air Force Base. I went to Kadena High School.
No doubt.
Okay. Lived in San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas, Fort Worth. I'm from New York. I've lived in New York.
You say that if you say that it is better there living there, then what can I say? I never lived there.
Spent a lot of time in Indiana. I've been to places, you know.
Right.
And the thing that I noticed is that you got to flex for the situation.
Okay.
Wherever you go, and I don't think that I don't think it's been any more racist anywhere else.
All right.
I think that's
I tend to agree with you that they're equally racist.
A mindset that you're like, oh, it's more because you watch TV or something like that.
And it might be a TV thing. I'm not gonna lie. I also had some feedback that made me think that they're more disrespectful with their racism.
I bet you in Texas you get your head knocked off faster than in New York for messing with a black person if you're a white person.
Okay, you might be, because I know Dallas represented with Micah X, who's my hero. So you got a solid point there. So
we don't play that.
You got a solid point there.
And I mean, I might be moving back to New York, but it's not like,
It's just not for me. But I hear what you're saying. I do tend to understand that I never lived there and you did, so you have that advantage. So tell me more. Tell me more about what's going on as far as why you chose the field that you chose and how you feel that it's informed you about some of your opinions.
It's a lot of people.
Right into the mic for me.
There's a lot of people going to hear this. Well, my mother's a social worker. Yeah, she's a clinical therapist.
Okay,
and I spent a lot of time with kids doing jobs I didn't get paid for.
Okay.
I was a kind of at-risk kid too. I don't know. I just did what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I got in trouble. And
right. Well, that's good.
Here and there.
You gotta get in trouble.
Well,
you got to. You got to rebel. You got to in this country.
I got a Class A misdemeanor for what they call deadly conduct, like wilding out with a firearm.
Oh.
And I didn't have a gun at all.
That happened in New York?
So no, it happened down there. And so I left the scene of an argument, and they said I had a gun, and then they did the whole you know, 2 years of going back and forth to court, and then gave me some kind of sweetheart
that's
deal.
That's how they get it.
And what it is that Class A misdemeanor, they treat it like violence. So it's been difficult to get jobs sometimes.
Right.
Why did I say that? I forgot why.
Well, we were just talking about why you chose the field that you went into and how you think it informs your shit right now.
Oh yeah, you know, so you know,
welcome, Jonathan.
Through that, I ended up, you know, going to get my degree,
right,
and trying to fix it, you know, so I can, you know, it's a rehabilitative field, right?
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
So, what's up, Jonathan? Good to meet you, brother.
How you doing?
All right. So yeah, it's a rehabilitative field. I decided I was going to work with young people, like, you know, rather teenagers, because I think a lot of teenagers have the ability to change, and they're straddling the fence.
Right.
And
that's a good place to move in for you.
A lot of us need mentors, and mentorship is a evidence-based practice.
Right.
So it works.
Right. Yeah, I think that the teenage is like the perfect fucking time, because their minds are still pliable and everything, but they're also at the level where they're ready to understand concepts that can teach them how to move forward.
I noticed that they have opportunities, they will do better. So every kid can't play basketball.
Right.
Some of them gotta go out here and be entrepreneurs, or, you know, work. And when they don't have those opportunities, you know, our teenagers are the highest unemployed, and it's not, I don't think it's because they want to be. You don't get unemployed numbers from people that aren't looking for jobs.
Right.
So they're not getting jobs, they're out here wilding out, and I feel like there's also a mental health aspect.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more into the mental health aspect. I definitely want to get more into that, because obviously that's an issue in the black community that is stigmatized. I believe in destigmatizing everything. I mean, everything from drug use to everything, like especially sex. Stop making things like shameful to discuss, so that we can get the shit popping and get some solutions. So yeah, I'm with you right there. Make sure you're sharing this to your page. Make sure you're sharing this. Yay.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk. I want to get into your views on the biracial thing. Before we get into those views, I want to say real quickly. Oh, it's about to heat up like a motherfucker. So like the phone lines will be open. Phone lines will be open. So this is the thing. Before this came along, I noticed another trend start to pop a lopping, which was the descendants of slaves trend, where black Americans were starting to want to get. What's up? Oh, here you go. Black Americans were wanting to get start identifying as descendants of slaves or something like that, so that they can like organize for reparations or whatever. And I think in doing this, one of these groups was kind of like excluding other nationalities, like you know, Africans and that sort of thing. So I noticed that was happening in Caribbean islanders and everything. So I noticed that was happening, which was a new movement that I had never like really seen in black culture. So that's the first sign I was getting old, because I was like, what's this?
You ain't never seen American black folks stand up for American black folks and American black folks only before, have you?
I never have. I'm telling you right now, I never have. Let me tell you something. I'm with black Americans standing up for themselves. I'm so with that shit. I love it. I think that our culture is something completely unique and dope in the universe. We designed that flag and shit. We be selling that flag. If you go to Redbubble, Gavin Lewis designed this flag, this concept we came up with in BA for black Americans only, so that we can have our own symbol of what we're talking about. So I'm with all of that. I do think it's when they start excluding people, I don't know. We got to get back into that another time. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm noticing that as I get older, I have to keep opening my mind to these concepts that the new people are coming up with, or the youth, or the progressive, and the new scholars and shit. I got to keep up on my shit with that. So imagine my surprise when I found out that biracials were actually being put up for eviction from Wakanda, and I had never even heard of this as a concept. Even
I thought they was Wakanda anyway. I thought we already agreed on that.
We agreed they were Wakanda. We did,
right,
but
so
I thought it was like, I kind of thought that was a joke. Like, I didn't understand that the humor was real.
She wasn't joking. Heather wasn't joking.
I really did not. I really didn't know that. So now I'm Heather wasn't joking.
She wasn't joking.
He actually,
you know, she coined that, and I
he
think
absolutely did.
And people started saying it. I swear,
I
seen
saw
nobody
it.
else
I
said
seen
it.
it happen in real
It's
time.
kind of simple, but you know, she did.
Regardless,
she did.
though, is that shit is brilliant. Really, is it simple? Is brilliant, and that's not the first time I've seen her shit catch on. She also had a white what is it? What was it? Exclusion is the white nightmare.
Who are we talking about now?
Heather, are you paying attention? Yeah,
Our Heather.
Our Heather.
Oh, okay.
Talking about her what you call it, is going viral as a motherfucker. Her statements and shit. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this is new. That's all I'm saying. So I just want to hear more about it.
Okay, you want to hear from me?
Yeah, I want to hear from you because I saw what you wrote about it, and I don't catch all your lives because often when you're on, I'm
I just turn
multitasking.
my notifications on for you when you go live.
yeah. Like I be like, what you call
Are
it?
you guys disappointed I'm not screaming?
We might get there though.
I don't have a
we
blunt.
might get there. We might get there.
Oh.
But okay, so yeah, so I miss a lot of them, but I do read your shit. So I want to hear what's up with that.
Okay, it's not new, actually.
Okay.
That's why the word mulatto exists in the first place.
Okay.
And mestizo. You know what? I gotta first before I even start. Let me go ahead and do this because I got it out the way. So around the world.
But
hold on.
Okay, but before I let you go, I just want to clarify. So you're saying that all along we never considered mulattoes black?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
That's okay.
Okay.
So I wrote down a couple terms for biracial. Okay. In Spanish, it's mestizo.
Right.
In Japanese, it's hafu or anko.
Oh, I never heard of that. Hafu.
Filipino.
Anko.
You heard that?
Hafu?
Filipino is mestiza because it's kind of like
familiar
Spanish.
with that. Yeah.
Korea is hapu, bonding, or I don't know how to say it, but you can look it up.
Right.
Chinese is bangpizong.
Bambingzong.
And England half caste.
Half caste.
Half caste. Bloody hell.
When I lived in the UK, it was straight half breed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the new. You know. And so the only people that go around here like, oh, these are people are. Oh, hey, what's up? Only people that go around here doing this is us. It's not a typical thing in the world.
I'm late, but still come through, show love. What's good? Respect.
What's up?
All right.
So
give you some love since I didn't give you some last show. All right.
Okay,
So
all over the world we have these we have
mixed race people, and you know who usually creates the term for the mixed race people? The dominant culture.
Okay.
So if I'm a Indian man from India,
right?
Because that's usually I have a term,
right?
Okay, for mixed breeds. If I'm a Chinese person, Bang Pizao. You know, and that's a mixed race person because I'm Chinese.
Right.
Japanese, etc.
Right. That makes sense.
Well, for us, it's just we don't have no, we don't even think about that.
Right.
We just call it because we've gotten to the point where mixed race is black, right?
Right.
That's because of slavery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And also because white people maintain value, they preserve and value whiteness.
Right.
So you can't be both and be white, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Black people do not preserve, value, or even define blackness. As soon as you do, people are pissed off. How dare you? How dare you? And like, did you say Thurgood Marshall?
I said Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass.
There's a bunch of them, though.
Well, Frederick Douglass was, he was a slave, but they seem to know that he was one of them. Same with Thurgood Marshall, and they even talked about it then. If you go look at Thurgood Marshall's documentary, if you look up Thurgood Marshall's documentary, they were talking about that then. So a lot of your first blacks are half black, and we Obama,
right?
Rosa Parks,
right?
Thurgood Marshall, Charles Drew. You know, these are black people. You know, and then when it comes to me, I'm excluded. Like I could, I probably could do the Daily Show if but I'm not a half black dude from South Africa. I also don't have a keen accent. So, yeah, it's much cooler than being a nigga.
Yeah, they definitely get advantages.
Right.
Yeah, but why are we kicking them? I'm still confused. Okay, you're right. They definitely get advantages because they are biracials. Now, how is us excluding them from blackness? How is that beneficial? What's the benefit to us?
How does it hurt us?
I'm just asking what the benefit is, though.
So what's the stance here? So
his stance is that biracial should not be black. They should not be counted as black.
They're biracial.
They're not black.
You know another example. Tiger Woods. Right. When he said he was Calabinasian, which was a freaking joke that he was like being glib.
Right.
He was trying to tell you something, and everybody got pissed off. Oh, he's not black. But his dad's a half breed. His mom was an Asian. Right. Isn't it stupid to say that he shouldn't say that?
You're saying exactly what he said. Like, yeah,
it's retarded. And then we're sitting here getting upset with him about it. Because why? Because if he's not black people have never played golf. And that's the truth. But they play golf. Okay, but I'm just saying we don't have a great champion anymore. He's not black.
Can we get 2 microphones and I'll just hit you up because I don't want to. All right, do your thing, son.
Because I want to ask a question.
I'm hearing what you're saying, John, but I just feel like I don't want to call you by your both names.
Go ahead, that's my grandmother's.
Oh, okay, good.
That's not my last name.
But so this is the thing. I understand what you're saying. I'm having trouble understanding why. I don't understand the benefit to. Okay, so as far as he's concerned, black people, well, we already know, especially for progressive blacks. Like when this is coming from progressive blacks, that's why like educated blacks. You know for a fact that if right now you put a golf program in the ghetto for free, that's the end of it. We run golf now. Like we would all be golf Jordans.
I don't know about that. That's just boring as shit.
I promise. I don't care what you say. If you made that shit something that we had access to,
I feel like if you have access to it and if you have a program around it,
you know what's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna dominate. We dominate.
I think it's more about exposure to certain things.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to sports,
happy to see you.
That's just what we do. Listen, just like Hitler. Hitler didn't. Okay, now they want to be like, oh, being an athlete don't mean shit. But before they knew that we would totally dominate the whole world in that shit, they were like, yo, that's proof that you're a superior being, that you can push your body and your mind to those limits. That's proof that you're a superior being. And then when Hitler was like, oh, okay, these motherfuckers really is like dominating this whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Then they wanted to start. But the truth of the matter is, that is a sign of excellence. The fact that whatever we put our hand to, we dominate. And if we had been trained in that shit, we would have dominated. So we don't need fucking Tiger Woods, Cablinasian ass, beige ass. We don't need this fucker. Anybody who really, just like Tina, what's these girls' name? Venus and Serena proved. That's the same thing. Tennis, golf, same fucking thing. They proved that if we put our heart into it, we will dominate that motherfucking shit.
Okay, well, I mean,
so we don't need that. Like, what are you doing? Like, why do you really want these biracials out of the family?
So I want to actually understand
that. That was like,
go ahead. You got your mic.
Yeah,
you got a nice.
Yeah, I got the new shit. All right, so let me ask you a question. So,
I got your old.
Is a black person someone who's 100% African?
Not really.
Cause it's a new thing, so we're gonna define it.
How do you quantify what is black?
You got your hair. Not? You got your ubiquitous features. You got your hair, and you got your skin color. That's how you do it.
That's it, though?
That's it.
But there are groups of people. All right, so I'll give you a perfect example. So in India, right? They have a group of people called the Untouchables, the Delights, right?
Nah, they don't got no nappy hair. Get out of here.
Hold on.
Oh.
They're just as dark as you are. You know what I'm saying? Then they also have people who are from the Polynesian islands who have nappy hair. So are those people considered black?
No.
So again, like, how do you quantify it? Because
I just told you those people of color.
So, but here's the thing, right? If you did a DNA test on everybody in this room, I'm pretty sure everyone here is gonna have at least like 5% European DNA
Not
in
me,
them.
player.
Definitely you.
I ain't taking no test.
With the exception of maybe you and Hiba. But definitely me and bro right here, we got some European in us. I'm like 3% European. I already did the test. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Jonathan's going to be like 50%.
It's like 23%.
Damn, son.
I thought that was small.
I'm sorry about
I feel like
I was 3%.
I feel like everybody
My
has like.
condolences.
And so I feel like once you...
I'm going to take a call. I want you to finish your point, but I'm going to let the caller know that.
No, you good.
Oh, okay. Caller, holla at me. Holla at your girl.
Hey.
This is Very.
No.
Damn it.
Tiana.
Who is this? Tiana.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, y'all.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, he said, "How you
Tiana,
doing?"
holler at me and talk right into the mic. Let me feel it.
Okay, so one thing that I just wanted to say before we get any further into the conversation, Monique,
Yes.
language is extremely important. And one thing that I keep hearing from you is that we are trying to kick biracial people out of blackness. And it's phrases like that and other phrases like erasing their blackness and things like that that contribute to everything surrounding like the one-drop rule. We're not excluding them from blackness. They were never there.
Okay. So that shouldn't bother you me saying that then. That should be crumbs, to be honest. If they was never there, then they do not matter to the conversation. And it shouldn't bother you for me to say that.
They're not being excluded. It's not you. That's like taking a group and separating. But what she's saying is they were never part of that group. The only reason why you're saying that they are is because they're forced upon you.
Right, and I understand that, but we're not gonna act like that wasn't a thing that we are that black culture, as a general consensus, did kind of accept them as black.
That's not even true.
My point is that we're simply defining blackness. That's it. We're not kicking anybody out. We're just defining.
Okay, I understand.
This whole thing is new to me. Like
that's what I'm saying. They act like it's not new. And that bothers me.
I'm
I feel like
genuinely trying to
understand
like your standpoint and where you're coming from.
Well, one of the things that we're doing here is like we got people that are saying like, what about if you're like 3% or 10% European? When we're talking, one of the things we're talking about is whole halves.
Right.
Why are we getting away from that? First of all, we're talking about whole halves.
But I think the problem with the whole half problem is okay. Yeah, you're right. That's good enough. Fuck that. You're right. No, I really want to. I want to say something. It does not make sense to go into like the 10% shit. Like we talking about somebody who was half a cracker. So like that's good enough to like. You know what I mean? We don't have to nitpick on that. Let's talk about these ones who was half a whole cracker.
Shout out to Drea.
And then the other half.
Shout out to Drea.
The other half of that they're obviously not 100% black either. So they're less than half black.
So when you got to squint and look at them.
And before you even get started, the police kicking your ass is not what makes you black. I mean, they kick a lot of people's ass that aren't black. So don't. I know that's going to come up soon. They don't treat them like. What if when the cops see you, they see a non-white person. Period.
Right, I don't like that to be a measurement of blackness.
No.
But somebody will say that. I guarantee somebody's thinking that shit right now. Like, what about when the police kick your ass? Then what you gonna say?
I think that's a great argument inside of the black community when it extends to who's black. I don't.
Okay, so Tiana, I'm willing to concede that you know maybe my language was a little extra. I concede that for you.
Hey, we agree on something or change.
But yeah, so you're 100% in agreement with him. You're saying about everything he said so far.
With John?
Yeah.
I introduced this concept to him.
So this concept is. Will we admit that this concept is new? Like that's what's bothering me. You got educated people who have studied blackness. Like I'm no fucking slouch when it comes to studying blackness. And if I said I never heard of this concept like that, then we're not gonna act like it's not newish. Like he's saying like it's not new. Now, what you broke down, I understand the angles that you're coming from, but the idea that this, and as a general consensus in black culture, that we've always kind of like agreed that mixed people ain't black, like that's just not.
Is Jesse Williams black?
So Monique, I think another thing to consider is that
he was.
Who are typically speaking for black people are biracial people. So of course their perspective is this what You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to be the face of black people, and if they're speaking for us, then they can say whatever the hell they want and put whatever they want in fucking history books, and that's just what it's going to be. Even if the black people who are in concentrated black areas who look black or full, non-mixed, even though that's not really the reality.
Okay, I think I understand you, but are you willing to? I'm willing to have the discussion, but only can I have it if we are willing to agree this is a new thing that we are introducing.
It's not.
Because you're not going to tell me that there was ever a consensus that we was not saying that motherfucking Frederick Douglass was black. Like, no.
Or at the very least, undiscovered information amongst...
Yeah.
These words already exist. How does it do? Mulatto is not some new shit.
Yeah. No, it's just a motherfucking qualifier. They're black but mixed. That's what mulatto meant.
Black but mixed.
That's what it meant. You're black but mulatto. You're black but light skin. You're black but got a white mom.
You know why this is a problem, and this is why this is
precursor to this conversation.
Okay, you know why this is important to me, because of what I think about the mind and education and how black kids are devoid of why we do bad at math. We're fucking bad at logic, and this is a logic problem. You cannot be black and mix. That's just stupid as hell. Like, it's so dumb that I can't believe people say that. But I didn't always think this. But it doesn't
make sense what you're saying. I'm telling you right now. What you just said does not make sense. That you cannot be black and mixed. Yes, of course you can. Now we can decide whether or not that's going forward.
You are mixed.
If that's how we're going.
You're not black and mixed. You are mixed.
Okay, listen. In order to do that, you have to define what blackness is, and that's where it's going to get rocky. Do you understand?
Right. So I hear what you're saying, and from a logical standpoint, like if you're talking about, like if you're taking crowns out of a box, or if you're painting, right, then that makes sense. But I'm leaning towards what Monique is saying, like how you define blackness isn't the same way that you would use with painting colors on a canvas.
Just because of the history of how blackness was created. That's why I started this show by talking about how blackness was created initially as a response to whiteness.
White people
do you know
they
that?
define whiteness simply by looking at them.
Okay, wait. We got another caller, but everybody just pause for a minute. I want to take the other caller in. Caller, what's your name? Where you from? Holla at you.
It's Laren.
Hey, how you doing, Laren?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Woo, Laren, I bet you got lots to say.
I do, but I'm going to try not to take up too much time. I am black and white, so I have been black my whole life. This is a new thing, but I understand that social constructions surrounding race are changing, because ultimately race is a social construct. I believe it was John who just said what makes you black is the color of your skin and the texture of your hair. So, that's obviously just a social construction. I can accept if DNA. Social constructions of race are changing and people start to view me as less black or not black at all, then I need to stop saying, hey, I'm black, because, that's a different role I have to step in. I'm no longer black. I can no longer claim victim when certain things happen. I need to be an ally. That means I need to stop talking to the black community about, what's happening, and I need to start talking to white people or other
or
people
other
who are
biracial people,
mixed black and white.
Right.
So I think that's valid. But some of the other things that they're saying are not valid. I think saying that mulatto it means biracial. No, it doesn't. Mulatto means a person who has a black parent and a white parent. Haku means a person who has a black parent and a Japanese parent. These are different words for different types of biracial, but biracial is a word on its own and not the same thing. So I can get that. But I think some of the reasons that people are coming up with, or the excuses that they're giving, aren't really grounded in logic. So if you have something logical to come with, that's cool. But so far, all I'm hearing is, y'all just not black because we decided you're not black.
Okay, I want you to pause. Laren, pause. Don't go away, because I want to catch Hiba up. Now, Hiba, you had questions. I your earrings, girl.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Hiba.
Yeah. I feel like your heart is pumping real fast. What is in your cup?
Thank you.
That shit looks like it's straight sugar.
Yeah, it's basically a syrup.
I'm a rock star with a little bit of rum.
So her heart's already pumping.
Let me hear what you got to say.
I feel like I missed the precursor. Who's blocking the camera? I feel like I missed the precursor to this whole conversation, but I think I get the gist of it.
Okay.
So, like, I'm all the way black. Like, you know, never been questioned about being black.
As much as we know.
Yeah, until we get
I'm
that
at
DNA
least
test.
98% African.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is, if someone has one black parent, one other parent, my life, I always called that person black. Like, as long as I could look at them and see African features.
Me too.
If they had one parent that was Japanese, Polynesian, Norwegian, or Filipino, if I knew that the other parent was black, we always called that.
Yeah.
So I kind of get what you're saying. They're mixed, but they're black.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I get what you're saying.
But that's still a social construct too.
Listen,
because the white man decided that.
Okay, but this is and that's
I mean,
true.
but they have one parent that's not black. So
that's what we have to understand.
But the whole thing is a social construct.
We gotta step back for 1 second.
First of all, that's not true either.
Okay, but wait. I'm gonna throw it to you next. I am.
Where did the one drop come from? America.
You're just throwing stuff out there.
White people didn't create
to hear yourself talk.
They did not.
Okay, they created white.
The definition,
the
classification. They did actually create it.
Not to be hotep, but I know Kemet means land of the blacks.
Yeah,
it came
hundreds
of fertile years from them.
Pause for a minute.
Kemet means fertile land.
So, Kemet does mean land of the blacks, and there is. Listen to me. There is controversy. I know everybody thinks they know it all, but I studied this one. So there's controversy whether or not they're talking about the soil, or they were talking about the people. However, with that being said, I just want to say 6,000 years ago, when the first pyramids was being made, we didn't worry about black because we were the humans.
That's not true.
People understand?
So why do they paint themselves different colors on the walls?
Okay, listen, we're going to get back to that. But listen, we didn't worry about that because before white people came along, you didn't worry about being black.
That's not true.
You didn't worry about being black before white people came along. You just didn't. You were the original Dundada motherfuckers. That's it.
I disagree.
So now, where a lot of people think that there's a deep scientific, if you want to talk racism, that's the racism where they went and they found these skulls, these anthropologists, and they said, oh, you see how this head is shaped different? That's a Negroid head. You see this one with a big skull? This is a white person's head. Like, that's where the fucking racism came in, when they were trying to make race a bigger, like that they had harder science on the different skulls that they were finding when they were trying to define
prove, and the theory got debunked, and now it's no longer
racist because they were racist scientists back then. They got
eugenics.
Busted out for being racist scientists.
Yeah, but I mean, everything starts out as a theory.
But why are they carrying on those same notions then?
Wait, carry on what same notions?
They're the same notions. Like those things have been debunked, but those arguing like, oh well, if you only have one black parent, you're not black. Those are the same things. Like all of those things are based on the same ideas of racism. It's all scientific. The entire notion of like people being distinctly different races, being black, being white. These are political constructions that come from those scientific ideas of racism.
Listen, but let's say it is.
But it's not.
But for the sake of argument, let's say it is.
They are.
Not for the sake of argument.
Okay, well, I'm going to hypothetical because that's how I learned. So let's say for the sake of argument that was the case. If that were the case, right? There's nothing wrong with black people reacting to an oppressor's bullshit. Like, if an oppressor is going to use the concept of butterflies versus cats, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, to oppress you, there's nothing wrong with like being like, yo, what can these cat claws do? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with responding. There's nothing wrong with responding with blackness to white oppression. There's nothing wrong with that. So I just want to say that for anybody who might be listening and feeling some kind of way like, oh, well, now we not black because white people use whiteness as an oppressive tool. No, they use that weapon. That's their wicked-ass weapon that they use for their elite bullshit. And we use what we got, which is who we really are, which is the original people on the planet. Now, if y'all want to say...
They're picking and choosing what they use, though. That's the problem.
Okay. I want to throw it to you and let you respond now because I dominated and you had something to say. So go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, I forgot, but I'm pretty sure, because there's all kinds of things that are wrong with that. Black isn't a thing that white people created. Yeah, we all stop giving them so much goddamn credit for everything. These people, they're ignorant, first of all. Everything that they do, they copy. Blackamoor. What is that?
What is Blackamoor?
It's a fucking more.
Listen, I don't think I'm giving them credit as if it's something good. Like it's just their game is what's running right now. If their game wasn't running, we wouldn't be. Do you not
know that people recognize the difference in each other way before? Like, do you know the Greeks knew that they were Greek and they were white, and the people in Africa were black, and they met with each other. They talked the importance of what the race is something that was created by white people.
That's exactly what I'm saying, though.
It did, because the people in Greece knew the people in Africa were black. You should go.
No, I don't have to on this one. Actually, don't send me to do my research.
All right, so you know that, right?
Because you're not going to do that.
So you know those white people. Those white people.
There's nothing in history that ever showed any oppression based on
We're not talking about oppression. We're talking about
the meaning of being black or white.
We're talking about you know what I mean? That those people were white and those people were black. Period.
Okay, no, that's
and those people over there are Asian. No, we're talking about race. You're saying that it was socially constructed. It was not. It was clear and obvious beforehand. So Chinese people didn't know they were Chinese, and black people seen Chinese people and didn't know that those people were Chinese.
No, that's not what that means.
That's what race. Those are racist.
No. That's not what that. It doesn't mean that Chinese people don't know that they're Chinese. Chinese people actually felt like they were basically the only people who mattered. They were the most xenophobic people in the world. They just felt like they were the only people who mattered.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Black people felt like they were the only. Like that's just how.
I think you have no. I don't think you.
Absolutely. And that is how they fucking felt.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I guarantee you.
I think this argument goes like this because people refuse to understand simple logic. Black people in Greek knew that people in Africa were black.
But how did that make any? You got to make that mean something.
You know what it means? That they knew that the other was different. Period. They knew, and they respected it. The races.
That's the part where I'm.
The Greeks learned in Mali and Timbuktu in Africa. That's where they learned the Greek philosophy from. They came to learn from the black people.
But not because they were black.
It's true.
Nothing happened because they were black, though.
But this is
that's what whiteness and blackness is. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? The struggle that we deal with white people now is because of they use whiteness and blackness. Oh, somebody saying something?
Can anyone finish a sentence? Okay. So
I don't know.
So basically, when let me just throw something out there.
Okay.
All right. When I was in the only time I've ever been in a country where I didn't see another black person for a whole 5 days was when I was in Singapore.
I was about to say it has to be somewhere in Asia.
The Singaporean people are mainly of Chinese descent. Mainly, some of them have a little bit of Indian or Malaysian, but that's neither here or there. So most Singaporeans pretty much are like Chinese people exported to a smaller country,
like Taiwan.
My black ass was there with my African fiance.
Right.
They knew that we were different. We knew that they were different. It wasn't because of a social construct. It was just kind of obvious. We had eyes.
I agree with that.
So
100%.
Racism is the
it's
social
like
construct.
At this stage,
No, not racism is a social construct. I think to say race is a social construct kind of means like we don't even have eyes. Like if you're in Sweden or Norway, a social construct is not going to tell you that you're different than all the Swedes and all the Norwegians.
That's not what we mean by social construct. Yes, everybody is different, but deciding what categories to put them in. You know what I'm saying? And just because a person has squinty eyes doesn't mean that they're Chinese. They could be from somewhere fucking else too. They could be from.
That's true, but that's what ubiquitous features mean.
One of those fucking hinterland countries in China.
I've been accused of having cheeky eyes.
You do.
Well, you kind of do.
But you know what? There are people in Africa.
Of course.
With chinky eyes.
And there's many.
And you know what?
There's many.
Their skin and their hair.
Yeah, looks like yours.
They're black.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you do got that point. Yeah. I'm gonna just step away from this.
So I think maybe some of the lines are being blurred in what people are even talking about because it kind of makes it seem like, oh, you didn't know you were black until the white man said you were black. That's kind of what I'm gathering.
Yeah, listen, let me ask you a question, and then I'm gonna walk away from this because I really want people to understand where I'm coming from here. If you don't ever see a white person, right? Why would you, if you're the original person on the planet, you running around just having this whole entire civilization built around your thoughts and your people's thoughts, why would you even reduce like your whole shit to what we're dealing with now with white people is a reaction to their bullshit. Like the laws are based on their ideas of whiteness.
So
that's how they're running their game.
When black people first encountered white people, you don't think they said, "Oh shit, they're white"?
No, I do think that, but that's not the kind of whiteness that I.
They probably just said, "Oh shit, somebody who looks different." I don't think they necessarily said white.
Like you can see that
they
probably said they were pink.
Or they just said, "Oh shit, look, some aliens."
They definitely know, but
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The difference is when that first boat came upon shore. Are you kidding me? Of course they commented on their skin color, their hair. Of course,
I agree with. Okay, I'm going to concede.
But listen, people all over Africa look different.
They look different. There's no question about
people all over Africa look different. People from Eastern, Western, Central, Southern, they all look different. So you think when they bumped into each other, he said, "Oh, look, that's another black man because he has the same dark skin as me." No,
okay.
He probably seen them and said,
those
were the Vantoon, and those were the Shantoon,
doesn't matter in that
and those
context.
were the Tantoon.
But even though there are degrees,
that doesn't matter in that context.
It makes perfect sense, actually.
There are degrees in difference in the way that Africans look. But when you take Africans versus Arabs versus when you take West African versus Arab versus East African, that kind of is like the three main categories, and then you can subgroup the whole continent into those three. Yes, I just said that.
Even that subgrouping is a social construct. You feel what I'm saying?
She said which ones are black?
West Africans and East Africans, and maybe 5 to 10% of Arabs in North Africa are black.
It's a social construct because you're deciding who goes into which category.
But Arabs are clearly not.
But Arabs they have.
Do we need to?
Good.
Do we really need?
I'm pretty sure if you tested 20
like
Arabs, like 15 of them are gonna have
a
predominantly amount of sub-Saharan African
not
DNA.
Predominantly.
Well, not sorry, not predominantly, but they're gonna have a good amount. They're gonna have at least 30%. Believe it or not,
they're gonna have a percentage. They're gonna have a percentage.
No, he was saying some.
No, not Hiba. Who's on the phone?
Laren.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, Laren's not saying that Arabs are black though.
Oh, I thought she disagreed with me.
No, not at all.
Okay, yeah.
The point is, people knew they were different before.
Yeah,
you're still just losing these categories.
You guys,
this
is what white supremacy does. You guys are hurt by this, and white people.
No, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not hurt. I'm perfectly fine. You telling me that I'm not black.
I am going to let you go, but you can't say we not.
I understand society and how racism and politics works. I am okay with not being black if that's what I need to do. If I need to be an ally, I'm okay with that. I just want you to make it make sense. That's all. I want you to use reason and logic to make that point. And if you don't use reason and logic, I want you to say, you know what? I just don't want you guys
which species of animals aren't which species are we animals? We are, right? Which species of animals are not defined by their hair?
What?
John,
this is why we. No.
We're all mammals.
Did y'all hear what I just said, or y'all trying to play me?
I hear what you're saying.
Actually, if you see a Pomeranian, a pit bull, the hair is going to definitely tell you that it's a Pomeranian, right? All right, stop playing.
I see women with horse hair, and the horse hair look pretty similar to human hair.
But I agree with you about. I want to make a point real quickly. I do agree with you about hair and skin tone. I think that if you have nappy hair and dark skin as a combo, most people will agree that you are black. And I think if you act like that's not the case, along with Afrocentric background ancestry, then that's a problem. You gotta admit that much at least.
I need one too.
So I'm agreeing with you.
Get a cup.
Get a cup. Yeah. I appreciate your patience, but this is new for us.
But listen. You know what's going on. Part of the it's going to stay new because nobody wants to listen, and the simplicity of it is confusing y'all.
You got to knock down arguments. You can't just be like, oh, you're ignorant. Oh, you have to knock down arguments. You have to open your mind to the fact that the other person is not an idiot. They may have studied it, and then you have to knock down that argument.
That's how I feel that I'm being treated on the low.
Okay.
Like, this nigga don't know what he's talking about. And
absolutely not. Let me tell you
there's a feeling to it.
I am fascinated, and I do want to learn. But even I don't know if she's being facetious or not. But if Laren is saying if make it make sense to me and I'll stop in my lane. I don't know if she's being facetious, but she should be stopping in her lane if you can make it make sense.
I think she's being sincere. But if we, and I've never met Laren. I've seen plenty of pictures of her. She's a beautiful, woman who clearly has African ancestry, but she's,
I don't know.
She's obviously mixed.
So I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
And to say that, you know, I am treated the same way as anyone who looks like Laren is absolutely insanity. Like,
Laren, that's another argument, though.
That's a lot of people get
that's like some color shit, like some colorism, light skin, dark skin.
Well, I mean, biracialness and colorism kind of goes hand in hand. Sure when it depends. Like, if the person has Laren's phenotype, it's not like Barack Obama's phenotype. Like Barack Obama, if I didn't know, if no one told me his mother was white, I didn't know. Like when he first hit the scene, I didn't know who he was.
Skin, I'm assuming he have some.
No. He's not that light skin. He's that.
Now all light skin people see. We gotta watch this.
That light skin. He's brown.
Well, I disagree.
Now, so anybody lighter than Obama, you think that they're mixed? Now,
they got some white in them. Yeah.
No,
pure-blooded black people are not light skin.
I thought Obama was black.
What do you mean?
What?
No, it's. What are you talking about? What?
No.
You don't go to West Africa and see people slim's color unless they albino or they have fucking white in their family. Like, what are you talking about?
There's other places where there are people that color in Africa.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I think that you're onto something here. You got my fucking attention. If I'm pushing back, that's how I fucking
like
do.
I mean, at least it's interesting to me. That's why I'm like sitting here listening. Like I'm trying to.
I'm on it, but I
y'all don't read them comments, huh? Y'all should read some of these comments because they're on you.
Oh, let me see.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yes, please do.
But yeah, so what I'm saying is that the idea that what whiteness and blackness means today is very, very, there's a very specific political connotation of it. And I definitely believe that a lot of blackness is political in identity, and a lot of it is a reaction to white oppression. Saying that you give white people too much credit doesn't make sense. If anything, you're giving black people not enough credit. Like, it's our job, if we're being oppressed, to fight back with everything we got. And if you're being oppressed by white people, I can see why you go opposite direction. If they're telling you that black is ugly, I can see why you say black is beautiful.
Well, can I ask somebody a question?
Can
I ask a question then? Because sometimes that's the other way around. You got to ask the other question. Why are they always black but they're never white?
What do you mean, mixed people?
Yeah.
Because of the one-drop rule. Yeah, that's absolutely.
I actually call it. It depends on like how light that the mixed person is, but I'll call them white instead of black. So
that's
I mean.
Look at the picture.
Oh yeah. She's not. She ain't about to be confused for nobody's.
Yeah. So I tried to see what people. Maybe people can call in and help me out because
cute.
She's gorgeous.
I mean,
I'm trying to see
what you doing tonight.
I'm trying to see, like you said, they on me. I'm trying to see what are they? How are they on me? Like what am I missing wrong? Or somebody help me understand what I'm getting wrong and how I'm failing here, because I'm really trying to understand.
Women are designed to be appreciated.
Oh man,
I'm really trying to understand. If we kicking biracials out, I'm down. I'm not saying I'm not down if that's where it's going. I do think it's weird that we're acting like this is new, though. I mean, that we're acting like this is not a new concept.
Hold on a sec. That's weird. I need to answer this. Are Latino and black people considered biracial? Are you kidding me?
Wait,
see, this is what you need. Y'all really got to go back.
Wait,
to,
let's let Jonathan answer that question.
Nicole Renee, she asked, "Are Latino and black considered biracial?"
Meaning if they're Latino and black,
which
the same person?
Which I don't know what the hell that means.
Let's let Jonathan answer that question.
Well, I think that's just a lack of understanding, though. But like how you have in the U.S. Yeah, white people, black people, whatever. It's the same thing in Central and South America and the islands as well.
Wait, break it down a little more. Go back a few centuries. How did people end up in South America? How did people end up in Central America?
How black people did. They're slave trade. The same way that happened in the U.S.
We're going to let somebody.
Who's on the phone?
Same boat, different stops, y'all.
What's up, player?
Y'all ready for me?
I'm ready.
This is Gary.
Derek, holler at your girl. What's
Gary.
up? Gary. Oh, Gary. I'm ready.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Gary from Indiana?
From Atlanta, Georgia. No, not from Indiana. Don't put that on me.
I think it's Gary Booker.
Nah, I'm just messing with
you.
Oh.
Gary Booker.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I was born ready. Let's hear what you got to say.
Oh, my.
Okay. I want to back up a little bit. So, first point I want to make is there is not necessarily a connection between phenotype and genotype. So when you are taking these tests, be it through Amazon, through 23andMe, or one of these other sites, what is happening is when they give you a profile based on what you are, where you are from, there is no specific genetic markers in your DNA that says, okay, you're from this group, you're from that group, you're from this group. What is happening is that there is a map that people go by, that geneticists go by ethnographers go by, that gives a list of known genetic markers that are known to be found in a particular geographic location. So when you are taking this, your DNA is okay. So you have these genetic markers. These genetic markers are seen a lot in these Bantu people from South Africa, from this part of Africa, or these Niger Congo people from this part of Africa, this part, or so forth and so on. Right? All that to say, there isn't a way to establish race based on DNA. So if you're saying, well, I'm black based on this part of my DNA, or that's part of my DNA, I have to tell you that part of your DNA does not really exist.
What?
No, I understood what he said.
I don't know if I do.
Okay,
Gary,
so,
if I'm in
the Twilight Zone,
Gary,
I think I understand
right,
what he was.
I know what he's saying.
Was trying to say, but I can understand why it was confusing.
Okay, so let me just ask us a question based on the genetic background of someone on this panel. You know, Mr. Robert sends his information in and comes back 50% East Asian. That's what he is.
Exactly.
So not necessarily.
Again, not necessarily.
No, but like that's what he is. That's what his mother is.
Word,
that's what he is. Yeah.
Well, again, you have that context. You can say that's what he is because knowing your parents, right? As we know our parents, we know our grandparents, so a lot of us have information about these people. So that gives us context, right? I, for one, managed to do my genealogy and trace my ancestry back to the Yoruba and to the Igbo of Nigeria long before I took my DNA test to confirm that.
Right.
So I had context. But however, there are lots of people that have traced their ancestry back to this tribe in Africa, and it doesn't match up with their DNA results. Their genealogy could be wrong. Their DNA results could be wrong. It's just the thing is, and the thing that complicates it is that it's not very straightforward.
Okay, tell me what you think about what John Allen's. I feel like this is John Allen's and Tiana's fucking movement because the shit is new to me. If they don't want to take credit for the movement and act like it's always been there, that's fine. But the shit is new to me, so that's what the fuck it is to me. But tell me what you think about it.
I really, honestly, this. As much as you're trying, you can't really. I mean, I hear what you all are saying. If you're biracial, you're biracial. My point is it's not always that simple. You know, they're just like people that you can. So let's say, okay, these people. If you only have two phenotypically black parents, then you're black. If anything else, you're biracial. If you want to say you have a phenotypically white parent and a phenotypically black parent.
Well, this is how I see it.
Why are we saying phenotypically white parent? Like if one of your parents is white, they're white. Like what
this is how I see it. If your mama or your papa is black, then you're black. If you're mixed race, you're black. That's it. If your mama,
that's so offensive. I can't believe it.
And that's fine. But if your mama or your papa is black, you're black.
Why I'm
that's
offended
it.
by that?
Yeah.
Because I am a black person. Okay.
Right.
And when you look at white people and black people, they're completely different in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in looks, right?
Absolutely.
These people say they're white. When you mix them two together, they're black, right?
Right.
That's because this one has value and preservation for. And there's another thing,
But in
and this
his
one
mind-
doesn't. No, that's
listen
fine.
to
This
me,
this is a group thing. This is why the things
ahead.
are the way they are.
That's maybe in society's mind, quote unquote, that they put more value in.
Yeah,
the white.
but not in
and
our
that's not in
mind.
the person.
Right.
No, that's why they stay white.
Look, for me personally, right? I'm black and I'm Indian. When I did my DNA test, I was so afraid to have any European DNA. That's my personal perspective.
Are you Indian?
No, I'm black.
Well, according to him, no, you ain't.
That's fine.
That's what this is about now.
That's fine. But lucky for me,
you know why? You know why you're not Indian?
Because I decided not to be Indian.
Because they would tell you weren't.
No, because the funny thing is that many black people like you tell me that I'm Indian, and many Indian people tell me that I'm black. But I get to decide what the fuck I am.
Oh.
No, I'm about to shit.
No, just everything's gonna sit over here with me.
No,
come sit over here with me.
Okay, but
right?
Look what time you show.
Out of the smoke.
This nigga.
I can't stand you.
Bitches. That's why the fuck I'm late.
You want to sit next to me?
Okay, listen. This is what I want to say because I'm about to get off the mic for a minute. So I want to say this before I get off the mic.
Did not fucking bring.
I want to say that at around 11:40, I would like to discuss Dr. Sebi because I promised some people that there would be a discussion, and I want to keep my word. So
they fall asleep by now.
I'll be back at 11:40.
When I heard this was 2 hours, I was like, now I'm like, yo, I ain't got enough time, man. What's going on here? But you know why? You don't listen to me.
I'm going to let you go, though. I'm going to let you rock because I swear to God, I'm fascinated as fuck. But it's my style to try to knock somebody's argument down. That's my style, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm pushing back. Don't look at it like, oh, she don't want to listen. No, I push back until you kill my argument.
I was going to say, well, you know who can't decide to be black?
Extra.
Me. I can't decide whether I'm black or something else.
You're absolutely right.
So, I mean, that's a convenient thing.
You're absolutely right.
And you know, and I find it like, for me, being black is a special thing. It's something.
Yes.
So you can't put white in that and still be the same thing. You ain't the same thing.
We have a call.
Okay, we have a call.
We have a call.
Okay, we got mad calls. So
this is not my live. This is not my live. I can't.
As they come in, and I'm going to take a break.
No, he was about to eat
some
scrimps.
Okay, well I'm here. Okay, I'm here. So caller, what's your name and holler at me? Oh, we gotta let somebody go. Who we got on the?
Thank you, Gary. We actually have calls waiting.
Gary, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
So Gary came and dropped the science, and I appreciate that. Give it to me later. Oh, Tiana, you gonna stick with us?
Oh, Tiana's still holding?
Tiana, you there?
I'm gonna stick
Oh, hey, baby.
Okay, just hold on, Tiana. Just let me have a call. Let me have one.
Give it to me later.
Careful.
Carter, give me your name. Hold the blood clot 1 moment. Fire upon your soul, fire upon your heart. Babylon burn.
Right.
Okay, so I know it's extra lit tonight. I'm hyped. I'm excited because it's extra lit. Caller, name, where you from? Holler at your girl.
All right. This is Nigel again.
I need you to talk right into the mic. Talk right into the mic.
Hey, Nigel.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Nigel, I need you to tell me you're on my side.
I think I am.
I don't even know what side I'm on, but go.
Well, I felt the need to call in because it seems as though everybody here was using, or at least was unaware of the fact that we're using different definitions of blackness.
I want you to talk right into the mic, like really talking to my soul, so I can hear you.
No, to my soul, Nigel. To my
All right, so
pillow talk.
The issue is that blackness, as we think of it today, is to a large extent a political project, as you were saying, Monique. It's in
I like when you say as you were saying.
In many ways, but not exclusively, a response to the othering that whiteness has imposed on us.
Right.
We've taken that, we've run with it, we've created movements that look beyond that dismiss the white gaze. But we can't just not acknowledge the fact that we've all been touched by this fucked up construct that whiteness has imposed on us. I mean, black people, being the original people, we are the most genetically diverse people. If you get the two groups of people who have the least in common genetically, both are in Africa, both look black. Both are black. I mean, they can look like whatever they like. What? The issue is that...
In what part of Africa?
Oh, no, you were saying something?
In what part of Africa?
I think the last time a genetic test was done that to determine that, I think it was the Khoisan and the I don't know, I think it was the Berbers.
My brother,
the Khoisan are the
heard
least
us
similar
yet.
to the Berbers, but if you brought them to America, they'd both be considered black.
Right.
And the issue is that I may have gotten the group names wrong there, but I hope the point stands. It's like the issue is, given that we have that political blackness, we're also persuaded to think of our blackness in genetic terms, and that's useful. It's often accurate, but it shouldn't be taken as the end-all, be-all. I mean, a great example would be the people of Oceania, Micronesia, Papua New Guinea, for example. Right. They look black. They look like niggas. They look like niggas. But the issue is, genetically speaking, they have the least in common with almost anybody else on the planet Earth. In fact, they've got some Denisovan DNA, which is a whole other species of human being.
Genetic drift.
But nobody's talking about that when they say black. Nobody looked at your DNA to determine your blackness. Right. Nobody says, hey, where's your mother from, to determine your blackness. It's like, in some sense, well, not in some sense, in many senses, blackness is determined as much by your cultural upbringing as it is by your as it is by the society that you live in. You only become aware of your blackness once you're around other black people, right. and we as black people became aware of our blackness, our Pan-African destiny, as a result of the fact that we needed to band together against white nonsense that was taking over the world. It's like acting as though that is just a non-issue, as though blackness would be exactly what it is today without that history. I mean, it's ahistorical. It doesn't make any sense. Now we can talk about what we want blackness to be in the future. We can change it because it's ours.
That's
we can do
exactly
what we want
what
with
I said.
it. But you can't acknowledge that it's already had a history that we need to acknowledge and decide what we want to do with.
Nigel, as usual, you dropping mega jewels, but I want to give John Allen a chance to rebuttal because I've been all over him, and I really want him to have like a time to just respond. Right now, he's going through it right now.
Wait, you dropped the bomb on that bullshit?
I think he did. Because I think he did. I absolutely.
Get out of here. That was a bunch of bullshit.
I don't think that was a bunch of bullshit at all. I do not think that at all. I don't think that at all. I think that that was a very thoughtful conversation, which I agree with. If going forward we want to change the game, I'm actually thinking about subscribing to your motherfucking newsletter. I'm thinking about subscribing to your newsletter, but you gotta be like, yo, this is what's going forward. You're not gonna make me misunderstand what I understand about race in history. You gotta convince me going forward. So let's go.
What's that?
Respond, rebuttal to what he said. It was bullshit. So how was it bullshit?
Black people being black people, man, and it has nothing.
Okay, but what does it mean to be black?
Well, first of all, you have kinky coarse hair and dark skin. And
but Ethiopians don't always have kinky coarse hair.
That's the only thing that makes you black?
Excuse me?
I said Ethiopians don't always have kinky coarse hair.
Ethiopians ain't black.
Oh, shit!
Drop another bomb. Drop another bomb.
God damn, Ethiopians are black. Be my guy.
I thought that's where Lucy's bones were from.
Hey, Nipsey ain't black.
I thought Lucy's bones were from Ethiopia.
Oh no, Lucy's not black. Don't do it.
The original skeleton.
Wasn't Lucy like a goddamn
what?
Modern human? Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, her bones are pretty old. Her bones are old as fuck. But I thought her bones were Ethiopian.
Oh my God, this dude is wrecking my worldview from the soul up.
John, I was with you up until about 45 seconds ago.
BLOODCLAAT.
Sean,
oh my God!
John, be my guy.
I understand. I came late, but like, how are Ethiopians not black though? Really, like,
Tiana,
seriously.
Wait, pause. I want Tiana to answer. Go ahead, Tiana.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I'm gonna scratch that, and I'm gonna rewind from the Ethiopian comment.
I want you to talk right into the mic and put bass in your chest.
Yeah, she got that little.
Okay, so Nigel was talking about the Polynesian people, and I just wanted to say that, like, you guys, if we're honest, even they have very distinct features that are different from your average black person. I'm not saying that they're not black, but I'm saying that if you take this group of people and you take the majority population of black people, you will see very distinct. Like, you can tell that they are, in layman's terms, different.
But Tiana, hold on. Tiana, I'm gonna let you continue in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's why a few minutes ago I said you can literally categorize the whole continent into West Africa, East Africa, which includes Ethiopia, and North African Arabs. And East Africans, meaning Ethiopians, Somalians, Kenyans, Tanzanians.
Okay,
they
but
do have a distinct
you
look.
also have South African Khoisan, who is a whole.
I don't necessarily agree that Ethiopians are not black.
No. I'm not saying that they're not black. I'm saying that Ethiopians do have a distinct look, but they are still black. West Africans are black.
There are plenty of black Ethiopians. I think that what John means is that the face of Ethiopia is not black.
Okay, because this is
the what of Ethiopia? I didn't quite hear.
Okay, wait. Because this is the thing.
The
when we
face,
talk about
the face of Ethiopia.
Okay, so this is the thing. When I talk about who game is running, right? So when they had racist, when the scientific community was racist, when they were doing these, this anthropology, right, and deciding what race is what, they wanted to exclude Egypt and Ethiopia for obvious reasons. And they wanted to make only certain countries that they didn't value for blackness and designate that as black, and everybody else they designate it as Nilotic or whatever. They tried to find a way to make them less black.
And there was a history of them invading that area and fighting over it for centuries.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. I'm trying to make the point that the racism is a part of why they designated what's black and what's not black. It's always been a part of it for us. It's always been a part of it.
There are black people in Egypt, and there are non-black people in Egypt.
Facts. Facts. Agree.
Right.
I completely agree.
Of course, the line's going to get blurred. I mean, even Anwar Sadat was the first one to say,
I almost made it so simple that it's hard to argue. You see the hair, you see the skin.
I agree with you about that. About hair.
Every species of creation, you can tell what they are. You can tell what the different, variations is by hair. For one thing,
I agree about the hair and
even the color of that hair. If it depending on what it is.
Say nose and lips too. The Afrocentric
features in the face. Is it just a bird, or is it an Oriole and a robin and a fucking? You know what I mean? Like these things matter. Is it a Pomeranian or is it a fucking long-haired goddamn? Is it a long-haired shepherd hound?
Right now,
I'm with you on that.
This is like peak blackness for me. But it's like what I'm saying is, you gotta if you're going to challenge what the general conception of blackness is, it's incumbent upon you as the one who wants to create a new change to define blackness in a way that makes sense.
What the fuck?
He's defining it. And listen, he's defining it as dark skin and nappy hair.
But why aren't you saying of West African descent? Like, why aren't you saying that?
I mean,
but it does matter.
No, it doesn't, because black people.
Because he actually went about the dark-skinned Indian people, and he actually
went
about
the
dark-skinned
hair.
They don't have that hair.
The dark-skinned Polynesian people do.
Do they really?
And if they did, you mean like then I would consider them black. Because
you know what? Because
you know what? I didn't. You know, because them niggas look like LeBron James. Every last one of them. Every single one of them niggas look like LeBron James.
What an S girl.
That whole shit.
No,
I can't stand
the Polynesians.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, not the Polynesians. I was thinking of
Papua New Guinea. Ask you if the Rock is black.
I was thinking about somebody
else.
Actually,
so
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. Every last one of them Papua New Guinea niggas look like they LeBron James.
Most of them have. Most of them have just as high African descendant genealogy as the average person in Louisiana does, if you want to be quite honest. Like you can't even deny the fact that the people who are now in Papua New Guinea are descendants of West Africans. How they got there, we can debate later. But
genetic drift, they haven't touched the continent in something like 20, 30,000 years.
Right.
If anybody's not black,
you damn real we want to talk science.
Right.
You start having these features when you sit on an island,
right?
For one, and then you sit there and you
we got a Carter, we got to let somebody go,
but not sex with each other for 1,000 years.
Not Nigel.
With your cousins.
Who else is on the call besides Nigel?
We gotta let Tiana go.
Tiana, I gotta let you go. Call back. I love you. You're beautiful, gorgeous ass.
She's smart.
She's also beautiful. She know I know she's smart.
She already know that. Everybody know that.
But she know. But that's between me and her. She know how I feel.
Everybody knows she's smart too.
She know what I'm trying to holler. I'm trying to holler for a long time. But listen, though. So I wanna let the next caller in to get a chance. You know what I'm saying? I wanna let the caller in to get a chance. And then I also want to say that I had a point, but I don't know. My liquor's getting quicker. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Where's my liquor at?
It's over here. I wanted to say this. I wanted to say this conversation is very important. If you're in the comments or you're listening, share this motherfucking podcast. Yeah. I do not say that all the time, but I swear on my life, I honestly believe that this is a new concept. He said it's not new. He said it's already been a thing. I say this concept is new to me, and all I do all day is look at black culture. That's all I do.
But this is the thing. There is, and this is what
they can go. But if they bought it, they'll call back.
This is what kills me, man. Every single group of people have a name for people that mix from the group. Every last one of them.
But that don't mean that you're no longer a part of that group, though.
Right.
You're just a subgroup. That's what science is.
Y'all are the ones that are assigning the value to that. I didn't say that's not my cousin. I didn't say that's
no. I'm talking about
fucking stepbrother or my half brother.
Okay, we're gonna take a caller.
Separating them from the group.
We got to take our call in order to leave enough time to talk about Dr. Sebi.
Okay, so we're gonna take a call.
We're not gonna have enough time for that.
Okay, we're gonna make it happen. Caller, where you from and what's your name?
This is Reba.
Oh my girl, I'm hyped. Reba.
Oh.
Kick the motherfucking ballistics and don't hold nothing back. Bust my ass and bust my ass and ready. Go.
I don't know exactly what the conversation has been because I've been holding for so long.
You can complain or you can drop the logistics.
I wanted to call in because I think there's something that's been missing from the conversation, or at least up until about 15 minutes ago. What I think is missing is us framing why it is important for us to define our tribe at this time.
Let's define it.
And for me, in my life, and I think this is why this has all really come to light and become so important now, is because of Obama.
Okay.
Because what happened with Obama is, we allowed him to really ride on our history. We allowed him to come here and define himself as black.
Come here? Where was he born?
Yes, we allowed him.
Where was he born? Where was he born?
That don't count. Go ahead, Reba. Go ahead, baby girl.
Anyway, we allowed him and his daddy to come here and trade on blackness. Not only is he only partly African, but he's also of African descent. But he's also part white. And we allowed him to say he was one of us. We allowed him to invoke the civil rights movement and to invoke Jim Crow and to invoke our history. And then when he became president, his major two the two main issues that he rolled for was healthcare and DACA, the Dream Act, and that became and I think that was the defining moment for me to say, oh, wait a minute.
This nigga ain't black.
He's not us. That's why he said that we shouldn't get reparations.
But Reba, can I ask you a question?
Did that.
Reba, can I ask you a question? Let's say he was jet black, born and died in the wood, motherfucking fish grease, chicken frying, motherfucker, right? Let's say he had a can of Crisco on his stove that he used for 2 years, right?
Oh no! Wait a minute. When you question, Reba, it wouldn't be none of that.
Reba, I'm asking you. Reba,
it would be his lineage and his history.
Because you don't let me ask.
So if he had slavery in his history,
Reba, I'm asking a question. So let's say that he was black, and we all agreed that he was black. He's still going for.
We did all agree that he was black, and we did all say that he was black.
Oh my God! Okay, I'm not gonna cut you. Okay, I'm not gonna do that because that's not cool. Reba, I'm asking you a question. Please respect the question. So I'm asking you. Let's say he was black, and we all agreed that he was black. Hypothetically speaking, if that was the case, won't you still expect him to go into the office of the presidency, which is a rigged system in an oppressive fucking state? Wouldn't you still expect him to send drones and bomb brown people? Wouldn't you still expect him to do dumb shit? What did that got to do with him being black? Like, we're talking about the office
because
of the presidency.
Because he did nothing for the people that voted him in.
None of
He
them
did
do.
nothing for black people who voted for him 99, 98 fucking percent. That's why. Because we got nothing from that political action, and we should
don't have no time to even explore this.
Because he pretended to be one of our group, and we voted for him, and then he reminded us every day that he was not one of us.
He may have
that he's not concerned with
he
what
may have
he's
disappointed
not concerned
us
with what makes our lives bad here. in
Well,
this
listen,
country.
you know. Well, listen. Can I say this? Well, she doesn't think that he's black.
Right.
Period. And all this extra shit, why it doesn't matter. Whatever brought her to this.
You don't think he's black either.
What's her name?
That's what I'm saying. Whatever brought her to this conclusion.
Aaron with the L was saying it's a political construction, and that's what I'm saying. It is. It's a political construction.
Okay. Barack Obama may have disappointed some people, but he didn't pretend to be black. Everyone looks at him and treats him like a black man.
He did pretend to be black.
No, he didn't.
Identify as
He
black.
wasn't competing. He said he was African.
No one is mistaken.
He was pretending to be like me.
You can say he pretended to be woke. You can say he pretended to be about the
He
people.
listen.
No, that's
not black
He
man.
came in. No, what he playing? What was the music he was playing? What was his music?
He did.
He told me how he like.
He did.
Obama did everything. Listen, Obama did the same thing Hillary did, saying she got hot sauce in her bag. Obama did the same thing that Kamala is doing. Obama did the same thing that Cory Booker is doing, talking about his best friend T-Bone. These are dog whistles.
Okay, I'm not going to deny that certain people come into political office through the virtue of appeasing by shucking and like if y'all want to say he was
played his saxophone. Wait. That's what people do. Because they've never actually had to make good on any. They don't have to make a promise to black people. All they have to do is show us that they pretend to be one of us, that they're like us.
Let's take Bill Clinton out of the scenario.
That's enough to get our vote.
Okay, Reva.
And that's a problem. It's a political problem for us.
Wait,
not having blackness defined.
Let's take Bill Clinton out of the scenario because Bill Clinton is a whole white man from Arkansas. Let's take Bill Clinton. So Kamala, if I'm not mistaken, is biracial.
I'm saying there's a reason
Barack Obama is biracial.
Went on Arsenio Hall.
And Cory Booker is like the color of this wall. I guess he has a white parent, but I don't know.
That nigga got green eyes.
So,
he does have a white parent.
It's one thing to say that they may have displeased us. They may have dissatisfied us. They may have done a little shucking and jiving. But you're not gonna sit here and tell me that Barack Obama was not treated as a black man his whole life.
Barack Obama. Listen,
not his whole life, but
he got $500,000 inheritance from his grandma. Barack Obama got into a private school from his white granddaddy's connections.
No one ever looked at him as a white boy
from his African daddy's connections. Barack Obama is not a nigga. He's not black, but he pretended to. He's not. What I'm saying is that he's not a nigga, and he pretended to be a nigga.
Him like a white boy ever.
He pretended to be part of our ethnic group, our tribe, and he's not.
Reva,
no one ever treated Barack Obama like a white boy.
I love you, but I want to say something real quick. I want to say that Reva, I love you, but we gotta let you go. We gotta let you go because we gotta move on.
I'm saying he is not a nigga. Period.
Okay, I believe you, but we gotta let you go, Reva. Thank you for calling. I always respect your input, and I mean that shit. I always respect you. I want to thank Tiana for calling. Even though John Allen tried to play me, Tiana and me have an understanding. She knows I respect her intellect. I'm always on her post. Thank you for calling. Thank you for everybody who called in on this topic. And I want to close this topic out by saying that even though it may sound like I already have these ideas in my head about which way I'm going, that is not true. I guarantee you, I am completely and totally open-minded to this new concept. Hold on a minute. I'm completely and totally open to this new concept of kicking biracials out of what he calls Wakanda, kicking their ass until Wakanda, as he phrased it.
And all that is like a certain section of Wakanda where you like.
Right, you're not really in the. You're not at the big table, but you still get a fold out.
You have no. You can't.
They're on the outskirts.
I'm down there. Yeah, you're not. Exactly. I'm fine with that, but I'm gonna need to learn more.
And it sounds like a joke, but I'm dead ass. Like they can't be speaking for black people.
But I'm gonna like chop it up with you more. I thank you so much for letting me know what's up with that. And for coming here and trying to talk, and I know that you didn't get a chance to flesh it out, but you can't in this environment. You just got to like tap. And I appreciate
my own show then.
I appreciate you. What's that? I'm sorry. What you say?
Nothing.
What's that?
You need to move here to get that. He needs his own show.
Yeah, he is moving here though. But if he get his own motherfucking show, it will be a collab with the Black Source because we don't compete. We collab.
He got an internship.
Okay, so
he got an internship because he's not a real black man.
Conversation on. Look at. First of all, I want to say Chenoa came through, and as you see, Ye made short work of that shit with his fancy ass layout.
Cutlery and
I'm so tired of this.
Fine china. Yo, he brought a placemat. I can't.
I think
deal
I got
with
a
him.
thing with eating in public. I'm gonna take it home and I'm gonna be all like pick it out.
Yeah,
and shit.
I'm definitely gonna
tear mine up. This is part of the black experience.
Somebody told me not to eat on film because I be wilding.
It's part of the black experience. Our viewers love this.
That's the 2% white.
Anybody listening right now,
your whole 2%. That's disappointing.
Who can represent Dr. Sebi in any way? I would ask that you call in, and I promise you will get time. I promise you.
Not tonight.
That you will get time. Listen.
I'm sorry, I was late.
No, listen. I promise you're gonna get time to get your point across.
I love it.
If I have to cut every mic, you will get your point across. I just want to know: is there anybody who can represent his position? Because I do think there's a lot of anti-Hotep sentiment out there, which I think is no good. Like, I'm not with, like, I'm just going to diss every Hotep.
No,
just because
like, it wasn't supposed to be like that. Hotep didn't mean, like, non-lotion, fucking ridiculous.
Right, it's not supposed to mean pro-black.
Can we stop saying that now, then?
Right, pro-black. Like,
we got a caller, though. We got a caller.
Sorry, okay, go ahead.
Caller, what's up?
I haven't seen the West.
Who are you? Where you from? I got mad echo. Why?
I'm sorry, Dre. I tried.
Oh, Drea said you didn't get a chance to talk?
No, she said that I owe her.
I'm sorry.
His friends and family. We're bringing them into this.
Who's on the phone? Oh, they hung up. Okay, so Drea, I'm sorry if Johnathon didn't get a chance to get his point across, but I told him he has an open invitation at any time to come here and talk because your position and your views are radical, which is my shit. I'm all about radicalism.
You want me to talk about Sebi now?
Let's get it popping.
Okay. So what's the problem with him?
What is the problem with him? Apparently, he's scamming people and telling them that he cured AIDS and cancer. Was. And telling people that he cured AIDS and cancer, and he did not. So that's not cool.
Did he cure AIDS and cancer?
First of all, I don't.
Sebi didn't.
Not quite sure.
Wait, we got a caller though.
I'm not quite sure. I don't have the.
Pause. Caller, where you from and who are you?
You serious?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Where are you from?
This is Tara. I'm from Baltimore.
Okay. What's up?
Taylor?
Yeah. So I wanted to comment on something I said earlier to get through. But earlier when I forgot the guy's name, he was talking about how other countries people be considered black.
John, he's the only one speaking tonight.
I'll be damned.
You had to fight for speaking, but go ahead though. Go ahead.
So I was just saying, like, I think that's kind of like the social construct thing when it comes to the fact that, like, if I go to an African country, I can't be whatever country I am, whatever nationality or whatever ethnicity where I'm at. But if it's the other way around, when those people come here, they're considered black.
Back up, Taylor. Nationality and race are two different things. So if you happen to be African American, and I don't know because I don't know who you are.
Well, okay. So yeah,
and you go to Nigeria, that doesn't suddenly make you Nigerian.
You got to go back to source.
But if a Nigerian comes to New York City, of course they're black.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's like this
I don't know if I'm using right fucking words, but if I go there, I can't be whatever ethnicity.
Okay,
but you know,
but that's not
black people. I mean, I feel like being black in America is like ethnicity at the same time. Even though it's a race, I feel like it's an ethnicity at the same time.
Okay,
but
Taylor.
It's like the connection.
So, okay, I'm sorry.
What does ethnicity mean?
Identify yourself before I continue. Identify yourself. Where are you
black? I consider myself black.
So, where are your parents from?
My parents are from here.
What does here mean?
Here. United States?
From where I'm, like they from the United States. Yeah, my parents are black.
So you are African American.
Bang that shit. Don't even fucking talk no more. Bang that shit.
Taylor, you are African American, which everybody universally considers to be black. Taylor, if you and I go on a trip and we go to Senegal, we don't suddenly become Senegalese. However,
you're still black.
Exactly. We're still black. And if a Senegalese person travels to New York City, it doesn't suddenly make them American. Excuse me, y'all. Ooh, that was gross. But they're black. Africans are black. African Americans are black. Afro-Brazilians are black. Afro-Cubans are black. Afro-Colombians are black. Are we all on the same accord with that?
If they dark skin and nappy hair and big nose and some lips,
that's why I said Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Dominicanos.
But I don't even like saying that. But when you come here, you say black people, right?
But wait. We don't switch nationalities just because we take a trip. Like, I have been to Egypt. I'm 0% Egyptian, and most Egyptians are not black. So we can't confuse race and nationality. That's it. I'm done. I feel like I'm scaring Taylor.
No, Taylor, Taylor, I'm gonna tell you right now, your name sounds biracial, Taylor. I'm gonna keep it 100.
It's not. Y'all saying my name wrong.
Oh, what's your name?
It's Tara, not Taylor.
Oh,
it's what?
Is this Tara Starks?
My apologies.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You gotta tell us. We talking to you like any other.
I'm sorry, Tara. We don't need to bang it on you.
We give you the VIP if you tell us. Okay, so now we talking.
Honestly, I'm just calling because I wanted to make that distinction because I don't know this guy who always at the bottom of the screen, but he always bringing up the DNA percentage, and he was talking about people from other countries. Will we consider them black? So that's what I was trying to. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know how to.
No, I understand you now.
You talking about red jacket, black hat, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so Robert.
Robert, there you go.
Robert ain't said nothing tonight. He catching hell.
I think that's why black people here in America are so protective of the label to be black. Okay, because it's like, when you could, I haven't traveled much. I don't know how it is when you go to another country. I was just trying to use an example. But I was just saying, I know that when I talk to people here and they're considered black, they have all these other nationalities. And I know, black people, we don't have that nationality. I may be from a certain state or city or whatever. I don't have that nationality tie. I think that's why I'm just saying. I think that's why black people are so emotional about certain people.
Tara, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you said both your parents are from Maryland?
Yeah.
Is one of your parents Caucasian?
No.
Is one of your parents half Caucasian?
No.
Okay.
She's lying. Get the lynch mob.
I'm sorry. I was just following up.
I
was just following up on a comment. Tara, I'm sorry. I was following up on a comment.
The question was, were you biracial or were you just yellow?
I'm just playing, Tara.
I was following up on a comment, Tara. No harm, no foul.
Tara, I'm just playing because I got a little tipsy and I'm playing.
I'm not offended. You can say whatever.
Do you look like Jasmine Guy or do you look like Lupita?
What? I know I'm like, yeah, like I get that. And I've had
mixed to me, to be honest. I'm not like she don't look mixed to me.
Some other type of ethnicity, and I get really emotional about that because I'm black. I define myself black, but I know that some people who are mixed, I have like the same complexion as somebody who's mixed. So I mean,
what's your hair look like? Because I just got through explaining that, but this is what pisses me off.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, come on.
No, she black. She black. She black.
So a mixed
that is kinky hair.
Twist out.
She's not mixed. She's not mixed.
She's not black. Fuck out of here.
She is.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one. And you know I didn't see that one. Man.
She is because she said she
Tara,
is.
listen to me. Listen, first of all, I want to thank you for calling in tonight because I fucks with you, hard body. I do. But we're going to move on to Dr. Sebi. And I thank you so much for calling in.
I don't know number no Sebi. I can't help you.
Okay, well, we're going to get into Dr. Sebi hardcore.
Thank you, Tara. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you, Tara.
We're going to try to we're trying to get somebody to represent Dr. Umar next week. Nobody wants to do it, but we'll get there. But we're gonna get there.
Do what?
We want to have somebody represent Dr. Umar on the show.
What do you mean represent?
Like somebody who agrees with his ideology.
Won't we get somebody from his staff to come?
I tried.
Yeah, she really did. But niggas, even these niggas know.
Don't want to
wait. Yeah, let's not waste our precious 10 minutes.
So back to Dr. Sebi. So you
9 minutes.
Are you willing to? So what do you feel about Dr. Sebi? Tell me how you feel. I'm fascinated.
I feel like you know this quack doctor is more of a quack doctor than the other quack doctors you motherfuckers will actually listen to and respect. And I don't really see the point. Like some of the did he cure cancer? Well, shit, did it?
You know why?
Cancer goes in remission. Did any of them fucking cure cancer?
No, nobody did.
What
Nobody
type
did.
of cancer? You can't do
that. Remission is remission.
But it goes away and you say I'm cured from treatment.
But you don't think that he's? Do you have? Oh shit. Fuck.
Right into the mic. Right into the mic, baby girl. Like Jill Scott. Right into the mic.
Not tonight. But yeah, no. But you everyone here understands that he's a fucking quack, right? Or, I mean, are we all on the same page?
If John Allen has a special feeling, I have a special feeling about quacks who target black people.
Yeah, that's the problem that I have. Because half these motherfuckers are quacks. Dr. Oz is a fucking quack. Fucking Dr. Phil is a fucking quack.
Yeah, but the ones who focus on black people
Oprah's
is a
quack. Like all these bitches is fucking quacks.
Yeah,
you know
Oprah
what I'm saying?
with her motherfucking
I don't give a fuck if they're doctors or not. Like, or whatever you can have a license. You can have all kinds of licenses to do all kinds of shit. Doesn't mean that you're a good doctor. Doesn't mean that you're a good.
But I want to
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Though, because I do like people who don't automatically be like, oh, you're the hotep, so I'm gonna fuck you up.
Right.
So I do like where you're coming from that perspective. But
yeah,
the dude's a quack and he's scamming black people. So how do we reconcile that? Scamming black people, targeting black people.
You want to know how to reconcile scamming black people?
Yes, sir.
Do you really want to hear it?
Yeah. I would like. Yeah.
We will work on our logic and reasoning, and we will not be scammed. We will no longer go back to the whole.
Instead of focusing
conversation
on the
we had earlier,
focus on the scam.
That's a logic and reason problem, baby. Y'all got a logic and reason problem. Lack of evidence, on down the line. But the thing that I'm annoyed by with Dr. Sebi is that we all really invested in talking. Oh, and yeah, they give us medicines that kill us all the time.
Absolutely.
Nobody's complaining.
Yeah, but no. Here's the thing.
Nobody's complaining about chemotherapy.
This is the problem. This is the problem when it comes to that type of situation. And the same thing with Umar and the rest of these fucking people. There's all these kernels of truth with what the fuck they're saying. You see what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, just like what you fucking said, it's the same shit that Sebi said. You see what I'm saying? And you know, we all of us know someone that the fuck is so funny, nigga.
He was like, when you said that, he was like, ooh, yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. Take it back. So yeah, but here's the situation, right? So we all know somebody who's gone through chemo and has, you see what happens.
Damn near kill them. Yeah.
Damn near fucking killed them. Their hair is thin, gray. You see what I'm saying? They've gone, whatever, never coming back. Killed so many parts of them. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you have somebody coming in, and they're saying the same shit that we already know, coupled with their same quack shit. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. And it's the same thing with people like Umar too. Right. You understand? I listened to some shit that he said the other day when he was like legit on some niggas need to really take the cop's gun and shoot them type of shit. And I was like, what? Niggas really do need to start doing that. But wait, hold on a second. Because he's a fraud, he walked it back and he said that they manipulated his fucking shit. They said that because he gave an interview and said what I just said, right? That people should take the cop's gun and fucking turn the shit on them. So he said that they manipulated his fucking words or whatever, because he's a fucking punk pussy bitch, so he fucking walked it back, right? But let's go back to what he said, right? When you hear something like that, after, you know, we all understand that we're obviously disproportionately targeted by police, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of these people have agendas and they're evil and horrible and disgusting, blah, 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 right? So you hear somebody say, why don't you fucking take the gun and turn and turn it back to them? Right? And then you're like, yes, you should. We already think this. But then they're like, can you give me a donation for my fucking school? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I can give you a donation, though. Like, let me tell you something. I can give you a donation if you're talking that shit I want to hear.
And if you actually plan on opening school.
But here's this is where the but you're not opening a school. That's the thing. You're not opening a school. You know what I mean? Like, if you were opening the school, then yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not even comfortable with a lot of the shit that you say. Like, that shit about the cop thing, like, yeah, of course, I'm on board with that. But the rest of the crazy stuff that you say, like when he was like 10% of black males can't reach 10% of our black boys. So we're going to have to kill them.
Because they're homosexual?
No, not because they're homosexual.
Because they're being raised by single mothers?
No, not because of that. Because they're just unreachable. I don't know if you've ever heard him say this.
No,
but he legit said this. No, I'm not jiving. I'm dead ass.
Yeah.
Umar Johnson said that there is at least 10% of black youth that need to be exterminated.
Boys?
Black boys. Wow. I'm not making this up.
No, I believe you.
I believe you.
I don't lie. So he said that 10% of black youth need to be exterminated because, quote, he's not going to be able to psychologize all these people on the fucking corner. And it's going to be a civil war between the older black men and the younger black generation. 10% of them are going to have to be taken out. He said it back in 2013, and he said it again in 2017 or 18. If I'm not mistaken, he said this. So here's look.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up because we definitely gonna do Umar next week.
We gotta do him. We have to do him. But this is what he said. I'm not jiving. I'm not making this up.
Bad,
y'all motherfuckers can Google it. He said it. He said it.
It's not that I don't believe you. It's just that there needs to be a reason why they're unsalvageable.
No.
And I will bet my last dollar.
If you're a psychologist,
I'm like,
you're a psychologist. You can't do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? I thought you were. You're all these things. You're able to do blah 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 blah. But you can't. Of course, motherfuckers are troubled. There's a reason why they're troubled, dummy.
Exactly. So you need to attribute a reason why
you're just gonna just smoke these niggas and just be the ones that's just like easy?
Yeah, the children thing, that is a little weird. Like, you gotta admit, that's indefensible.
He's not opening a school. He's not doing any of these things
at all. There's no way to defend that, really. If he said that, that's crazy.
Look, what I take issue with is people giving him money. There are too many other people out here who are fighting the good fight that have legitimate organizations, legitimate places for you to donate your money.
Yeah,
Stop fucking donating your money to this motherfucker.
Okay, so there's something to be said for radicals.
Yes.
There's something to be said for radicals.
There is.
Why don't y'all save this? Why don't y'all save the do Umar and the Sebi stuff for the same show? You should do that because you didn't get it.
Yeah, we definitely will.
We definitely do that.
There's something to be said for radicals,
and there are plenty of them that are not trying to take your coins and just feed you what you want to hear, just so you can continue to give them coins.
Like me.
Let's revisit it. Let's talk about it on the next show.
I appreciate that you came in and you really had you had a lot. It was your viewpoint against a lot of different pushback.
I tried. Nobody want to hear it.
I think John's viewpoint is against a lot of people.
I want to give you the last. I want to give you the last word. If you want to how you want to sew it up for us, what you want to say about your ideology on this.
I think black people are special. I think there's a clear definition of black, what they are, and I think that we should preserve and protect blackness, and it's up to us to define that. We have the right to do that, and I don't think I don't think that anybody else in the world doesn't have the same exact right.
I agree with you.
Or
I agree with that. That closed up. I definitely agree with. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody on the panel. Thank you. Understand that we can't get to everybody and we be all over the place, but I love and respect black people. Chenoa can cook. I don't know if y'all peeped it, but don't snooze. Hit her up at her Instagram. Chenoa can cook.